What's up, you guys? Joe Dobby here, back at it again with another deck profile for you. And we got quite a bit of good responses from the gameplay video with the Shivamon that I built that has Kogamon as its only purple spice for now. Stay tuned for the EX03 update where we have a little bit more access to purple tools with Dark Tyrannomon's inclusion and with X Tyrannomon's inclusion, which I am both very excited to play. That said, you guys, we're gonna dive into this deck profile and what I played at my locals, where I placed 2-1 in 3 rounds. There were 4 rounds, but I had to leave because it was like really late and I had work the next morning. But yeah, if you like the content, like and subscribe, guys. And as always, thank you for enjoying. We're going to start with the eggs. So we got 1 copy of Digimon and then 4 copies of the Argomon. So the Digimon here allows you to have an extra 1000 DP while all your Digimon are suspended on your opponent's turn. So I personally like this in my level 6 stacks because they're going to be suspended all the time, and making them 12, 13, even 14k in some scenarios could be very beneficial, so they get that much harder to swing over, which is kind of cool. The Argomons here, essentially when they unsuspend, you basically gain 1 memory when they unsuspend during your unsuspend phase. So once again, cool addition to the deck there. 4 copies of the 2-cost Mushroomon with a 3k DP. I love this art. It looks really cool. And one of the reasons why I played the 2-cost is because it's easy to just Digivolve over that into a level 4. And once you've got 2 level 4s, you can start to Digisorb into turboing up to your level 6, which is really nice. And if you saw the gameplay, this came in a really clutch with the Sunflowmon, because I could just hard drop this with the vegetation trait, and yeah, just another body to suspend with. Next, guys, we're running 4 copies of Pomumon. This came pretty clutch as well because it did slow down my opponent from being able to play Digimon by effect. So in that game where Pomumon was out, Gaussmon could not actually, in fact, play a level 4 or lower Blue Flare Digimon because you can't play Digimon by effect. So Gaussmon's swing, apart from being able to draw with Babydomon, was pretty much ineffectual because of this Pomumon being present. Next, we've got 3 copies of the Searcher Palmon that came out in BT10. So on play, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. You're only adding 1 card here because I don't have any fairy cards. You're really just adding vegetation or plant, but that's all I need in this deck. This Searcher, there's only 3 of them because I find that, you know, the deck has enough draw that if you don't brick and actually open up with a rookie, you could get quite lucky, which is why I don't mind that at all. And next is the 2 copies of the Palmon. The reason why I'm only running 2 copies of this Palmon is, once again, I like to go through the regular cycle of Digisorption, Digivolution, and just draw it out for green. I don't really want to keep searching things for green and bottom decking key pieces. If you're revealing 3 or 4 at a time, there's 100% gonna be that piece that you might have needed next turn or 2 turns later that you wish you didn't bottom deck. So it's one of those things in green where I just go through the regular Digivolution process more than actually gambling through a bunch of search cards. Since you can take advantage of Digisorption and actually Digivolve as much as you can and more so than your typical Digimon deck. Next, we've got 4 copies of Sunflowmon. This is such a good card, guys. When Digivolving by suspending one of your green Digimon, you may play 1 card with Vegetation, Plant, or Fairy of 3k DP or less without paying its memory cost. So this allows you to play things like Red Vegemon, which you'll see later on, and allows you to Digisorb into a level 5, turboing up into a level 6, just because you Digivolved for 2, which is pretty insane. And its inheritable effect as well is when an effect suspends one of your own Digimon, draw 1, which is really nice. Yeah, very, very good card. I can pretty much bring out any of these. Like, all my rookies are targets for Sunflowmon, which is great. And I appreciate that quite a bit. Next, we're running the last target of Sunflowmon in the deck, which is 4 copies of Red Vegemon. Red Vegemon was a menace in Digimon World 1. Very easy target to beat and Digivolve with and get a lot of stats up in Digimon World 1, so you guys know what I'm talking about. But 1 cost to Evo, 3 cost to hard play, and 3k DP. So 3k DP Vegetation being a target for Sunflowmon, which is really, really good. And it's a level 4 that can Digivolve for 1 over a 2. So if you are at 3 memory and you just want something on the board, you want to get a Chimeramon on the board ASAP, hard play Mushroomon, Digivolve into Red Veggie for 1, Digizorb into Cherry, put your opponent to 1, and you have a Chimeramon on the board. So if you're being rookie rushed, once per turn at least, you can send that right to your Chimeramon for like 3 memory and choking them to 1, which is insane. And the purple spice that I added was Kogamon. Kogamon was absolutely clutch. I highly recommend playing this card. My thought process behind this was, if you can make the level 4s and the level 3s consistent enough, all you'll really need with a combination of Digisorption is spending memory on your level 6s and your Kogamon. So I don't mind spending 2 memory on the Koga, knowing that I can Digisorb that Koga into Chimeramon for 1. So if I'm at 3 memory, I've got a rookie out, I Digivolve into Koga for 2, going to 1, Digisorb into Cherry, going to 0, and then I can play a Mushroomon, put them to 2. Or even go right up into Shivamon, and all of a sudden my Shivamon is suspended. I gave them 4 memory for it. I came from a level 3, and it has retaliation, which is kind of insane, because then they're like, not only do they go through the hurdle of having enough DP to swing over their Shiva or your Shiva, but now they have to try to beat the retaliation factor as well, because if they don't, then they're unsuspending, trashing the top of your security, and then Shiva can just do it all over again. I think people are underestimating how important or how strong retaliation is in green, and if you can protect a lot of your pieces that way, you're just giving them more reasons, or you're slowing their ability to take out Shivamon, and to me, every turn Shivamon's on the board is pure value. Next, we've got 4 copies of Chimeramon. This card is so good, guys. I wish it was a purple card. Digizorb for 2, so you're basically paying 1 to Evo by suspending one of your Digimon. An opponent's turn, when your opponent's Digimon attacks, you may switch the attack target to one of your suspended Digimon. So I can switch the attack target to a Digimon that's suspended with retaliation, or I can switch it to my Nidhogmon, or I can switch it to my Shivamon, and they're not only gonna they're probably gonna die, because I'm gonna be like at 12k, 13k with BBmon, but if I have retaliation, then I don't mind that trade, because I'm faster than they are in terms of Digizorb turboing right back up into another 6 if I have the pieces. So I don't mind losing my stack as long as you lose yours, because for me, every time my Shiva sticks, I have more opportunities to draw to get another stack, and then as soon as I force that retal, I can just bring back another Shiva off on the board, and I'm gaining value off the trash again. So very, very good card here. I actually love Chimeramon a lot. 3 copies of Blossomon. I'm probably going to replace Blossomon with 1 Argomon. My reasoning is I do like that I can, play a level 3 and then suspend it to using Sunflowmon's effect or any Digizorb effect really, and then I'm still getting the value off Shiva. But Blossomon was okay, didn't come up that much, but it's just a Digizorb 3, so it's just another way to turbo into a 6, which is what this deck really, really needs. Next, 2 copies of Chimera. This card is awesome. I love Chimeramon because it's so easy for Sunflowmon to drop a level 4, and then now you've got 2 level 4s, and you Chimera, and then you can add Kogamon underneath the Chimera, and then at that point, Chimera has 3 colors, so you're deleting every single floodgate in the game. There's no floodgate that is a rookie that's 4k DP, so they're all dead. And then Chimera can swing, get that safe 8k check, and then Digivolve into Shivamon, and then all of a sudden, they're down 2 security by the time your turn starts because they're trashing, and you're up a mega that can swing again and trash again. So it's a very control-y, very nice tech, and I have to run this guy at 2 because you absolutely have to see it, and there's no other way to actually grab him besides just straight up drawing into him. Next, we've got the man, the myth, the legend, the boss Insectoid, the Digimon that is on my that is actually on my Vital Hero, the Shivamon. So opponent's turn, while all your Digimon are suspended, your opponent can't use option cards. When this Digimon becomes unsuspended during your unsuspend phase, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. So Shivamon is really strong when coupled with retaliation for just one reason. It's another layer of protection for the Shivamon. When all your Digimon are suspended, they can't play anything like any option that could bounce Shivamon, delete Shivamon, or do anything of the sort. They're basically option locked, unless they force you to unsuspend, which I don't think exists. Yeah, you're option locked, so that means the only way you can get rid of Shiva is by swinging over Shivamon. And with Bibimon, it's 13k. With Kogamon, it's got retaliation. So it's like, pick your poison. Do you go for my security, or do you get rid of my Shiva knowing that you're probably gonna lose your own Digimon unless you are Black War Greymon, or just the whole Greymon X Antibody. That's probably the only deck that can actually swing over this and not die, especially with the Alphamon restriction for Doru Grey. Love that. Next, I switched this up last for the deck profile, but I only ran one of it. I realized that I needed two. I don't think it matters whether that Crossheart deck, that Shoutmon deck, is going to be weakened by EX03. I think that Argomon is super important because players are going to be playing their tamers, especially now that you've got EX03 with that yellow option card that allows you to play 4 Great Dragons or whatever. Pomamon is going to be a huge play a huge role there. Shivamon is going to play a huge role there because they're not going to be able to play the option card in the first place. And Argomon suspending all their tamers will be pretty awesome. And the fact that they can't unsuspend tamers means there's just no hybrids. There's no suspending effects from tamers. And there's no Digicross if Blue Flare does continue to kind of play really well into EX03. So I like the 2 Argomon. I'm running 1 copy of Nidhog just cause. I don't think Nidhog is super important in my deck specifically. But the reason why I have Nidhogg here is obviously if your opponent tries to go a little bit wider, you can just Nidhogg, get rid of everything, and then you just have a 13k beater for the rest of the game until they remove it, which is kind of nice. It's also a Digizorb target that is very hard to swing over, so if the Nidhogg comes out, you can build your stack through Digizorb, suspending the Nidhogg, and then if it's still your turn, the newly Digivolved Digimon can swing, be suspended, and Yahoo, right? So pretty good card there. 2 copies of the Merciful mode. I do love this combo with Shiva because Shiva can swing. You Digivolve in a Merciful mode for 6, you delete a Digimon, and in addition to being able to delete one of your opponent's Digimon, at the start of your turn, Merciful mode gets trashed, and then they trash the top card of their security. Another thing that happens as a result of that is Shivamon is during your turn, your unsuspend phase. So you now are a Shivamon that unsuspends once your turn has commenced, and then you trash another part of their security. So it's a very good closer because it's hard to swing over a 15k body with retaliation. So at the start of your turn, you're almost guaranteed to delete. Just be mindful of playing this card against SecCon, because if you're Shivamon and all your Digimon are suspended, you definitely do not want to go in a Merciful mode, because that cuts the option lock that Shivamon has. So definitely be careful when you're playing Merciful mode. Anticipate your opponent's plays. If you're playing against SecCon, know that Shivamon is the better card. Next, we've got 2 copies of Mimi, because we already know what Mimi does. Offers a little bit more aggression, another Digizord target, Yahoo Yahoo, blah blah blah. I'm running 3 copies of Samadhi Santi. It seemed greedy, but it actually worked because I do like having Samadhi in my hands. Once again, guys, look at the gameplay. See how I use Samadhi Santi specifically, because how I use it, I think, is something that a lot of green players don't necessarily use. I use Samadhi very aggressively because I understand green's main playstyle is to get to your level 6 and reap all the benefits for the rest of the game. Shivamon is the best level 6 in my opinion, because once you're there, you're option locking your opponent with retaliation. Your opponent will hesitate to swing over it. And Samadhi and security is always a win-win situation. If I have an Argomon and a Samadhi in hand, you bet I am suspending one of my Digimon in order to suspend that tamer that they so desperately need unsuspended. It happened in the game against Blue Flare, where I suspended a newly placed Sojo that I hit in security, and that Sojo could not unsuspend, man. Every tamer there was suspended, so it's pretty awesome. Second to last, I'm running 1 copy of HPD because it's the best card in the game, and 1 copy of Green Memory Boost. So Jodabi, why are you not playing more than one green memory boost? It's simple. Same reasoning why I only play 5 searchers in the Palmon. I like to trust that my deck's not going to absolutely brick and open up with 4 Shivamon and 1 Mimi in hand when turn 1. So I just trust that my ratios are fine. They're healthy, they're good. And the green memory boost, I don't want it bottom decking Merciful mode. I don't want it bottom decking Chimera. I don't want it bottom decking Mimi. I don't want it bottom decking. I basically need every card in this deck. And I feel that like with the Digizorb mechanic and all the draw mechanics, like as a result of those Digisorption effects, once I have Shivamon or once I have anything really, I'm able to draw enough cards to see the pieces that I need. So I'm taking a chance, but this is probably going to evolve as EX03 comes out. Once again, guys, EX03, I'm going to be tinkering with purple-green once again. If you look through my channel, I have played with purple-green over the course of my Digimon career. These are my 2 favorite colors. The first time I saw it was when Max Tapera, shout out Max Tapera, actually played green against me. That was when we first met, like ever. At an online tournament, and yeah, I was inspired by how fast it just went up. That said, I'm a purple guy forever, and I will try to spice it up with some purple. But that's the deck profile, guys. Hope you enjoy it, and I'll probably update this deck because I do love Shivamon. I feel like it's a very purple card in a green deck, and I think that yeah, will benefit. Well, it'll reap the benefits once we get more purple green support. But thank you guys so much for watching.